Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, the 13th day of July. It is my brother's birthday. Now, some people might go, wait a minute, he said that last Monday. Different brother. My brother Joe's birthday today.
Okay.
It's National French Fry Day. It's National Beans and Franks Day. And it's National Delaware Day. So all of those things happening on this day. And, Heidi, it's a Movie Star Monday.
That it is.
Our guest today is Melora Hardin. She was in a show that we love called Monk. She was Trudy Monk.
Yeah.
And then she was also in a show a lot of people love called The Office. And she was she dating Michael Scott in that?
Yes.
I was going to say, I thought so. And then in a movie that we absolutely love called 17 Again.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, a ton of stuff. She's got a new series called The Bold Type, another one called A Million Little Things, I think is what it's called. Several great projects. We'll be chatting with Melora Hardin for this Movie Star Monday. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A survey of parents with an infant found respondents are faced with about 34 tough decisions per week, or about 1,760 difficult decisions in the baby's first year. Choosing a name for their baby was found to be the most difficult decision for most parents. 37% said that was the tough decision. Was it hard for you to choose a name for either of our children, Heidi?
No.
I didn't think so either. It wasn't like simple. It's like, oh, just going to come up with something. But I wouldn't say it was difficult. Followed by deciding whether to breastfeed or to use formula. 34% said that was the biggest, most difficult decision. So I don't know. What would you say was the most difficult decision the first year of having a baby?
I wouldn't say that I really had any difficult decisions.
They were all pretty darn easy?
It all came pretty naturally to me, so I didn't struggle with much of anything.
See, that's even better. I've got a link to all the info in the show notes for today on surveys and studies and such at johnandheidishow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. This is an unusual Sesame Street story, Heidi. Program today brought to you by the letters D, U, and I. In that order. A suspected drunk driver smashed into a Chevron gas station along the Seaback Highway in Washington Sunday, then drove away from the scene. He made it to Sesame Street, where he then abandoned his very damaged SUV and ran into the woods. A police dog by the name of Heiko was brought to the scene. It didn't take long for Heiko to track down their suspect in the woods. He surrendered without further incident. No one was injured in the ordeal. Deputies learned that the driver had a bunch of other DUIs. This was his fifth within 10 years.
So Sesame Street was the name of the street?
Yeah, that was the name of the street. Okay. Sesame Street.
Huh.
He was booked into the jail for felony DUI, hit and run, driving with a suspended license, and for 2 previous DUI arrests. So, kids, can you count with me how many that was? 1, 2, okay, I'll stop. 5 DUIs is what it was altogether.
Wow.
Not good, but that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Film producer Sean McGilvray, I don't know if I said any of that right, says that big budget studio films, COVID testing, and safety could increase a budget by 15 to 20%.
Yikes.
So he's saying if you were expecting, to make a movie, expect to make it 15 to 20% more expensively. Critics took to Twitter to complain about the new Tax Collector movie. It's called The Tax Collector. Shia LaBeouf is in that movie, and apparently he's portraying a Hispanic gangster. So there's people are going, bad timing on that one, Shia.
Yeah.
No, you got to understand, they filmed this a long time ago.
For
It's
sure.
not like they just filmed this last week. So I'm not saying that makes it better. I'm just saying, it was filmed a while
They're
ago.
actors. That's what
Yeah,
you're
I
supposed
know.
to do.
And Netflix, by the way, announced that they've renewed Dead to Me for another season. We've watched that. We kind of like that, don't we?
Yeah.
I think that seems like a kind of a fun. Christina Applegate's in that. Third and final season. Season 2 was released back in May. So if you haven't seen season 1 and 2, you can binge watch those this, this evening or whatever. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A 20-year-old female dog by the name of Augie, who lives in Tennessee, has just been named the world's oldest living golden retriever. Augie is 140 in dog years.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so he'll be 20 years old. For a golden retriever, that's old. For any dog, that's old.
Yeah.
So 140 years in dog years. Although, coming up later in the program, we're going to maybe bust that myth, Heidi.
Okay.
Got some info that's going to make us all really sad, but we're going to talk about that's apparently wrong. Unions representing Disneyland workers are pushing back on plans to reopen the parks as coronavirus cases are rising in California. So they're going, no, we're not ready for this. Volvo Auto Museum in Crystal Lake, Illinois, says the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard TV show will not be moving despite sporting a Confederate flag. They're saying it was in a TV show. It's not moving. It's staying here. In a similar thing, I want to let everybody know, I don't usually tell people who my guests are going to be in advance, just in case like something happens and I don't have them on the program. But you know who I'm so excited to chat with again?
Who?
For the third time, John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh,
He's
cool.
got a big party coming up. It was supposed to happen like a month and a half ago, and then it got canceled, or it got postponed. Well, it's coming up again, so we're going to be chatting with him all about that. So be listening for that in the next week or two. Experts say thousands of dead fish found floating in New York Hudson's River died from suffocation.
How does a fish
I don't know.
suffocate?
I have no idea. I don't know how that works exactly. Weird story here. A drunken father's humiliating arm wrestling loss to his young son in Kentucky sparked a shooting and then an 8-hour standoff with deputies.
Oh, boy.
What? He became agitated after losing to his son several times. Then he fired 2 shots in the home. He had been drinking. So that, is kind of apparently what happened. Uber has agreed on a deal to buy the food delivery app Postmates. Uber and Postmates reportedly agreed to a $2.6 billion all-stock deal. So they don't get a paycheck right now. They get paid as long as it all pans out because it's all stock. Unless they sell their stock right now. They could do that, I suppose. But $2.6 billion with a B. Billion. It's a big number, Heidi. Here's that story that I was telling you about. Dog owners usually use the multiply by 7 method to determine their dog's age, right?
Right.
A new study conducted by the University of California, San Diego School of Medicine determined that's a myth. They say, no, that's not right.
Okay, what is right?
I don't know. They don't have to tell me that. They just say that's not right.
All right.
Don't you expect me to go digging into this stuff and finding answers? Because I don't know. But they say that ain't right. Kanye West got official approval now to start building his 52,000 square foot home on his ranch in Wyoming. 52,000 square feet. That's a lot of square feet, Heidi.
A lot of square
You would
feet.
get lost in a home that size, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure.
That's huge. 10 bedrooms, I was told. So I don't know that we're on the guest list. Probably not. This has been the scoop of the day on the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
It's another Movie Star Monday. This time we visit with Melora Hardin. She was in a movie we love. It's called 17 Again. again. Also on Monk, and everybody knows her from The Office. She's now been with a new series called The Bold Type. This has been going for 4 seasons. In addition to appearing in the program, she also had a chance to be a director of one of the episodes.
When I got offered the show 4 years ago to play Jacqueline Carlisle, I told the producers I was very interested in directing and wanted to direct an episode, and they said, great, well, in Success we'll do that, and here we are in Success, and this is my first episode of television that I've ever directed, and it's on tomorrow night on The Bold Type on Freeform. So called Snow Day, and it's a really fun episode.
So how different is it on the other side of the camera?
Well, it was great. I mean, I've directed before, but everything else I've directed has been independent. So to be on a show where you know everybody, you know the cast, you know the crew, you know you've created relationships, and the show has all the support of the network and the studio and all of these amazing, professionals on the crew who are department heads and who've been doing this for years and years and years. And we have a wonderful crew and a wonderful cast. So it was quite exciting for me, being that I had come from independent, film, and where I really had to wear many, many hats at one time. So it was pretty refreshing to come on to a set where everything is just running like clockwork, and you get to kind of wear, I'm either playing Jacqueline Carlisle or I'm sitting in the director's chair, and both are things that I feel very confident and feel really, good doing. So it was great to have all the support that I had, and just super fun to be working with people that I love and respect so much.
That is fantastic. Now, we know you from a TV show called Monk. That was one of our favorite shows, but a lot of people know you from a TV show that did okay. It's called The Office. It did more than okay. It did really well.
Yeah, I would say so. That's kind of a crazy experience, being that, I've been in the business since I was 6 years old, and to be on a show that suddenly has, many, many lives. It's like, when I was little, you would do something and it would have a shelf life. It would expire, it would air, and then that would be that, and you'd never see it again. But because of streaming, I have fans who are 10 years old and fans who are in their 60s from The Office. And, people are rediscovering it all the time, and it's really quite exciting and really something I could have never predicted, not in a million years.
Now to the big screen for a second, the movie 17 again. You were the principal in that movie. What a fun movie that was.
It is a really fun movie, yeah. It was fun to make, and it's just, yes, she's a great character, and the whole, relationship between her and Tom Lennon is really funny. And Tom and I are really good friends. We, meeting on that movie, and we've remained really great friends, and he's just, he's wonderful. He's such a comedic talent. My goodness.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to The Bold Type, you're also on ABC's A Million Little Things. How do you keep all of this stuff straight?
Well, I mean, it's sort of what I do. So it's super fun to play different characters. Each show has its own tone and its own kind of feel and its own personality. And the characters are very, very different, of course, that I play on A Million Little Things and The Bold Type. And so, yeah, it's really fun to be able to dance between those two shows. And I'm also, directing some documentary that I've been working on for 4 years. So, I have lots of balls in the air, and that's, I think, one of the things I love most about Jacqueline Carlisle, who is the editor-in-chief of Scarlet Magazine on The Bold Type, is that she's holding many balls in the air, and that was one of the things that attracted me to her and to the show from the beginning, because that's really how I see most of the women around me are doing that, and doing that quite well for the most part. And I think it's really great for women to see an example of that on television, because so often historically you've seen women of power, they're either successful or they're nice, and I think that's one of the stereotypes that we are crushing in the Bold Type.
And congratulations on The Bold Type and all the other awesome things happening, and thank you for taking the time to chat.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Again, the program is called The Bold Type. Our guest today has been Melora Hardin. I'll throw a link to all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A football fan once dedicated in his obituary to insulting an NFL team. True story. Lifetime Cleveland Browns fan and season ticket holder requested in his obituary for 6 Cleveland Brown pallbearers at his funeral so the Browns could let him down one last time. Oh, that's sad. Savage. That is today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline England. Pubs have reopened in England finally after a 4-month shutdown. It was officially called Super Saturday over the weekend. Thirsty Brits lined up even before the pubs threw open their doors at 6 a.m. to ensure they could have alcohol for breakfast.
For breakfast.
6 a.m.
That's lovely.
Lines around the block. I don't know about that. But I'm happy that you get to go do what you want to do again. There you go. That's a little news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. An Arkansas man fired some shots through the front window of a pizzeria after he argued with an employee over an insufficient amount of toppings on his pizza pie. Michael Brown arrested on Monday, multiple felony charges for the violent encounter at Pie 5 restaurant, Little Rock, Arkansas. Pie 5 employee Ebony Smith said Brown became upset with her because she, quote, wasn't putting enough toppings on his pizza. She called her manager and handed the phone to Brown, which he proceeded to throw at Smith's face.
Wow.
Another employee asked him to leave. That's when he began arguing. He went outside to his van. He then walked back to the restaurant holding a gun. He was locked out of the restaurant, so he shot at the glass, shot out the front door while standing on the patio area. He was arrested, charged with 6 felony terrorist acts, counts as a misdemeanor, and battery rap. So
people get so worked up about their food.
I know. Just calm down.
It always surprises me that.
Yeah, that it goes that far.
Yeah,
I could see you going. You know what, guys?
it happens all the time.
I'm just gonna go somewhere else. I'm not gonna eat here. But to shoot out their windows over pizza pie toppings or I don't ever say pizza pie. It's what it says in the story because it was called
Are you a
Pie
gangster
5.
now?
Yeah, I want a pizza pie. Yeah, you see. So anyway, I would not do that. But to each their own. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Police say a 72-year-old Pennsylvania woman brought a gun to a fireworks party. Now, the woman, identified as Reagan Miller, is facing 4 counts of terroristic threats and recklessly endangering another person. Miller is accused of pointing a gun at a group of people who were setting off fireworks in Rush Township. Again, she's 72, 10:30 on Saturday, the 4th of July.
So she wanted them to stop? Is that what was going on?
Incident told police she was setting off fireworks with family members when Miller came walking up to them and confronted them about the fireworks.
Okay.
One person said she, the 72-year-old, originally held the gun with the barrel pointed at the ground. But then, at some point, she raised it directly at the group of people, saying, "Go back into your house." A preliminary hearing is scheduled for the case.
Yikes.
Yikes is right. You don't do that. That's a bad idea. So
you don't.
I can understand being upset that somebody's, shooting off fireworks in your front yard or whatever is going on, but you don't go out there with a gun. That's a bad idea. If you do, you might end up right here in today's Moment of Duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida. North Hollywood woman arrested for assault after she hit her husband with a pork chop. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
No, this one's fake news.
Oh.
So we talked about somebody hitting somebody with, it was like a chicken breast or something, wasn't it?
So this is how we're doing it? You're just going to mix it up by throwing a different
meat
food?
No,
yeah.
it was a completely different entree. No, this was not from me, so somebody sent it in. But they might have gotten the idea from that story. So I'm going to give you partial credit because
I would hope so.
I do remember somebody smacking somebody with some sort of food.
Oh, that happens all the time.
And it needs to stop. Hashtag stop it.
And it needs to stop.
It does. Everybody stop it. Thanks for listening to Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Cool story. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Here's a headline. Rescue dog saves sleeping neighbors from a house fire. Tennessee authorities say a rescue dog is a hero. On the 4th of July, he alerted owners to a house fire next door. It says Jeff LeCates said his 3-year-old rescue dog, Raux, R-O-U-X, was barking frantically and unusually at his front door just before 10:45 p.m. And it says he opened the door to investigate why she was flying out, and she went flying out, rather. He followed and discovered the neighbor's house was on fire.
Oh, no.
That's when Jeff immediately pounded on their door, waking the family of 3 and their pets, who all escaped unharmed.
Oh, my God.
They used a garden hose on the fire until firefighters arrived. In a twist of fate, Raux and Jeff, so the dog and the man, would have never found each other if it had not been for the woman who lives in the home that caught fire. The woman who lives there is a dog groomer, and the reason that this gentleman was able to adopt this dog 15 months earlier is she knew that he had lost his German Shepherd. She also knew about this dog, which is a Belgian Malinois. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. A breed similar to a German Shepherd, and he needed a home. So she helped to facilitate the adoption. According to the fire marshal, fireworks caused the fire, resulting in about $50,000 in damage. And this dog, who the neighbor helped this gentleman get, this dog later saved that neighbor's house. Really cool story. Isn't that neat?
That's super cool.
Super
dogs
duper
are
cool.
Amazing. I love
they
dogs.
are indeed. I love it. It's once again, our dogs never done anything like this.
Well, maybe they have. They bark all the time at us. We don't know what they're barking
meanwhile, we're like, oh, all these terrible things that have happened in our neighborhood, our dogs were trying to stop it. We just thought they were just barking. All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.